Bhagavati. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining. I wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled Vaishnavas. So we've been looking at Vedic knowledge, the ambit of Vedic knowledge, which is very vast. So yesterday we looked at the Shruti literatures, which are the Vedas, Upavedas, and Vedangas, and their supplementary scriptures. Today we wanted to move on to the Smriti, but before we do that, just to understand, most of the Shruti texts, which consists of the four Vedas, the Brahmanas, the Aranyaks, the Upanishads, etc., they focus on the rituals of and the methods for acquiring material needs by worship of the Vedic demigods. Right? Basically, that's the essence. The activities of karmakand, where one worships the devatas and obtains fruits, material fruits from them. So when the Shruti texts go beyond this, they primarily contain knowledge of the futility of material existence. This material world, no matter how hard we try here, we'll never be happy eternally. Everlasting happiness eludes us. The temporary nature of this material creation, although it's real, it's temporary. Because there's such a thing called death. And as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, time, I am the destroyer of all worlds. The bondage of the spirit, the jiva souls in this existence of birth and death, how we are tied by the three modes of material nature, the spiritual nature of who we are and how we are connected to the Supreme, describes also the goals of life, being liberation from this material manifestation and the need to return to our original spiritual existence through the understanding of karma, spiritual knowledge, renunciation, devotion to God, bhakti. However, generally, they do not go beyond this, or at least not into the finer details. So the Shruti will not go beyond these, generally speaking. There is not much information about the bliss of spiritual activities, the pastimes of Golok Vrindavan, the most intimate, confidential abode of the Lord, who is a spiritual being, a personality. And so because of this, there's additional information given in the Smriti. So let's look at the Smriti now. Smriti includes the Shutras, Tantras, Pancharatras, Puranas, Itihas, and the Darshanas. So let's have a quick look. The Shrutas are Nyayan and Vedanta. They clarify the Vedic principles so that a person can focus on the ways for attaining a good life now and in the next. They provide logical codes of rules for Vedic rituals and worship used along with the Vedas and explain the purpose of the meaning of the rituals. So the Sutras give a good idea why various rituals are performed. It is specially meant to help householders like us regulate and spiritualize our daily lives. And the Vedanta Sutra is meant more for those who have grown tired of materialistic existence and are ready to retire and seriously engage in spiritual pursuits. Attato Brahma Jignasu. This is a very famous quote in the Vedanta Sutra, which is basically, I am a spirit soul. So that's the Sutras. Basically gives explanations, and the Vedanta Sutra is meant for when one is retired. Yes, Prabhupada?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, all devotees. Is this to do? I mean, when you read this, Vedanta Sutra is the meant more for those who had grown tired of materialistic excess and are ready to retire and seriously engage in the spiritual pursuit. Athano Brahma Jinas. Does this mean person who is working and retire?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, or even though, yes, mainly working and retired. That's correct. That's correct. Because those who are already spiritual, they will not need to go through the Vedanta Sutra. But it's those who have been working their life and then they stop working.
Then they go into spiritual more.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. And the sutras, there's many, many sutras, right? There's a Shautra Sutra. There's the Griya Sutras, Dharma Sutra, and the Manhu Samhita. The Manhu Samhita is like the law book of mankind. So these are all part of these sutras. Okay. Then there's the Itihyasis, which is also part of the Smriti. They help explain the rituals of the Vedas and highly compressed philosophy of Vedanta Sutra by using historical events of the universe and factual stories of many great sages, demigods, etc. And included in the Itihyasis is the famous Mahabharata, written by Vyasadeva. Which is a historical epic about the great kingdom of Bharatvarsh. So I think most people will have heard of Mahabharata and maybe have even read, at least read a version of the Mahabharata. Oops. Okay. Right. Mahabharata contains 110,000 verses. It's the biggest poem in the world. And the longest, longest epic, great epic in world literature. It's divided into 18 sections called parvas, such as the Adi Parva, etc. It is a treasure house of Bharatiya culture and holds within it a code of life for ethical, social, and spiritual relations. Throughout this great epic, every sort of human situation is described and every kind of emotion is aroused. As we know, right, Mahabharata, when we read the Mahabharata, there's so many different things that happen that can really cause to blood to boil sometimes. There is a saying that if it is not in the Mahabharata, then it is not to be found. The Mahabharata deals with the activities of the Pandavas and Krishna's relations, as well as topics that include creation of the world, history of the sages, Dharma, politics, military strategies, proper behavior of a king, and the waves of spirituality and devotion to God. Mahabharata basically contains everything. It includes the essence of the Upanishads, the Vedic teachings, and Bhagavad Gita, which is the most important scripture. So another Itihas is Ramayana. Ramayana is 24,000 verses. It was first written during the time of Ramachandra by the great poet Valmiki. It describes the life of Ramachandra, incarnation of God, and his consort, Sita Devi. Many pastimes are included in this storehouse of wisdom that has been inspiration for thousands of years to all people who have read it. In the incarnation of Lord Ramachandra, God appears as the perfect son, king, ruler, and inspires all his subjects with the greatest love for him. So this is a Ramayana, very brief idea of what Ramayana is. So the Itihyasis are accepted as supplementary Vedic literature, and the acharyas such as Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya have all presented the Itihyasis as valid Vedic evidence and have written commentaries on this, and Bhagavad Gita especially. The Chandogya Upanishad mentions the Puranas and the Itihyasis as the fifth Ved. Srimad Bhagavatam also states that the four divisions of the original sources of knowledge were made separately, but the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the fifth Veda. So the Vedas themselves not only accept the four Vedas, the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutta, but also the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and the Puranas as authentic Vedic literature. To be accepted as Vedic literature, it must present the same purpose as the original texts. So this is all part of the Vedic knowledge. So now we look at the Puranas. So just to get an idea. So we have looked at Sustras, the Itihasas. Now we're looking at the Puranas. And there's 18 major, 18 minor Puranas. And I think as part of our journey in this world, we will have come across one or two Puranas in our lives, at least, which are an important part of Itihasas, being historical accounts of the universe, and contain many pastimes that took place on Earth or even on other planets and dimensions, or in which superhuman powers were commonplace. The Puranas contain 5 basic subjects, and in some cases 10. So if they don't conclude these, then they're not a Purana. The creation of the world, the destruction and recreation of the world, genealogy of the devatas, and the sort of Prajapatis, the great fathers, the reigns of the Manus, who are the avatars in each Manvantaras, duration of time known as Manvantaras. Histories of the solar and lunar dynasties. So we know the lunar dynasty Krishna was born in, solar was Ramachandra. So these dynasties are described in the Puranas. Many of them also include descriptions of activities of the incarnations of God, as well as the great sages and devotees of God. One thing they may seem somewhat confusing is that stories are not in any particular chronological order. So they're a little bit mixed up in terms of how they are presented in the Puranas. And they may be related at any time according to the need. This is primarily due to the fact that the Puranas are generally related in a dialogue of question and answers. So Puranas are usually a conversation between devotees, or God and devotees. And then the histories are related in that way. Puranas explain more clearly and completely the spiritual philosophy found in the 4 original Ved Samhitas. Thus, they are especially meant for all classes of people. And since all men or women are not on the same level of consciousness and are spread over many different types of thinking, feeling, and desiring, the Puranas are divided so that any class of person can take advantage of them and utilize them to get out of the material entanglement. And it can be gradual or quick. So the 18 secondary Puranas, these are the minor ones, are these ones: Sanat Kumar, Nasimha, Naradiya, Shiv Puran, Durvasa, Kapil. So all these different ones are there. But these are considered to be secondary, the minor ones. 18 Mahapurans, which are the ones that we'll talk about, they're split into 3 groups: Tamogun, Rajagun, Satagun. So even the Puranas are split into. Why? Because they're all different types of people. So these Puranas are meant to help us elevate to the next level. So let's have a look at these Mahapuran. There's the Linga Puran, might even be known as the Shiv Puran. 11,000 verses, focuses on the glories and activities of Lord Shiva, the manifestation of Shivling and its worship, the fasting days, description of Varanasi, which is city of Shiva, his 1,000 arms, his marriage to Parvati. There's names, yeah. Thank you. And the appearance of Ganpati as well is included. Skanda Puran, This is these two are regarded to be in the mode of ignorance. So it's not that the Puranas are ignorance, it's that they're meant to elevate the person in the mode of ignorance. And it's one of the largest ones, 81,000 verses, which is huge. Yes, Prabhupada. You muted, huh? Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, can you reverse the page, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Here, it says 18 secondary ups Purans called Sanatan Kumara, Narsimha, Naradya, Siva, Durvasa. But I'm not going to read all of them. Are these small books
Yeah,
of
they're like, yeah,
these persons?
effectively they will be centered around them, or they will have information about those people. Yes.
These all Manava,
Yeah,
Asuna,
that's right.
Varuna, Kalika, Samba, Nandi.
That's it.
Like for me, they are quite all new names.
Yeah,
Only
me
one
too.
is Narsi.
Me too.
One is Nasima and Siva.
Yeah. And
Durvasa,
Durvasa,
I know.
yeah,
I know
Kapil.
Durvasa.
Yeah.
Kapil, I know.
That's
But
right.
Nandi, I know. Nandi is the one, is about the,
Bull.
is it with the, yeah, bull with the one, God Siva.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I haven't read it, but I presume it is. Yeah, I presume.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good. So the Skanda Purana is mainly about Vishnu and Shiva, and includes the holy places of Kedar, Badrikashram, Mathura, Kashi, Dwarka, other places. So it describes all these wonderful places, covers the worship of Shiva, the austerities of Parvati, and the worship of Vishnu, and stories of prominent devotees, as well as activities and worship of Ram. So Skanda Purana. Then we have Agni Purana, 15,000 verses. This is where Agni explains to Vashishta many spiritual instructions. These devatas are also very fired up, no pun intended. This includes descriptions of the Lord's incarnations, the creation, the greatness of Ganga, the science of astrology, religious discipline, yoga practice, Ayurveda, because Agni is so important in our health, especially the fire of digestion, knowledge of the Brahmans, the art of bhakti, or devotional service. Then we have Matsya Purana, 14,000 verses, conversation between the fish incarnation and Manu, and includes many topics: creation, the family and descendants of King Ikshwaku, Surya, Chandra, and the 10 avatars as well. It also relates the principles of worship and fasting on holy days, the pastimes of Parvati and Shiva, their marriage, and other stories. Then we have, so this is the 5th of the 18, Kurma Purana, 15,000 verses. It describes the occurrences of the day of Brahma, called Lakshmi Kalpa. The Lord's incarnation as Kurma presents his teachings to the great sages. So Kurma Purana, he's the tortoise avatar, turtle. Includes the manifestation maintenance of the universe, the pastimes of Krishna, greatness of Kashi and other holy places. Kashi is Varanasi, very famous, very old place. The effects of bhakti to God that everyone should strive, and the duties or dharma for liberation. Then we have the Shiv Purana. So there's a Linga Purana, there's Shiva, or it's even known as Vayu Purana. Sometimes they're quite closely intertwined. 24,000 verses. Vayu describes the events of the present Kalpa, or the day of Brahma. It contains the usual information that the Purana explains, such as creation, incarnations, and manvantaras. The glories of Narmada river, and detailed account of Shiva. So then we come into the the Puranas which are in Rajagun. Brahma Puran, 10,000 verses, includes the story of Ram, Krishna, also Suryadev, the birth of Parvati, her marriage to Shiva, and other aspects of spiritual sciences. Then we have the Brahmanda Purana, 12,000 verses, describes future kalpas. So these are where some predictions are there of the future days of Brahma, and includes descriptions of Nemi Sharanya, includes Bharatvarsh, where which is also known as Bharat, and other places in the world. Also describes other planetary systems, Swambhu Manu, father of mankind, other Manvantaras, activities of Krishna, the dynasties of King Ikshwaku from the Sun dynasty, Yadu and Vrishni, along with the dynasties and characteristics of people in the age of Kali Yuga. There are also descriptions of creation and annihilation of the universe. Then we have the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. I think some devotees will have heard about this one. Quite famous. This Purana is known for the information it provides about Vishnu and Shiva. It shows their unity. Also includes the basic topics of most Puranas, such as account of universal creation. It provides 129 chapters of many stories of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and how to worship them. So, a lot of pastimes of Radha Krishna in this Purana. It also describes Golok, the divinity of Krishna, the appearance of Radha, and numerous descriptions of her. The birth and marriage of Tulsi is also here. The story of Brindadevi. And there are also accounts of Narad Muni going to Shiv's abode and receiving instructions, along with the activities of Ganesh, Kartikeya, Pashuram. This is a wonderful Purana to get hold of and read at some point. Markandeya Purana contains 9,000 verses, one of the smallest. Here we find the conversation between Markandeya and Jaimini. And a wide range of topics are discussed, a few of which include Balaram's pilgrimage when he refused to take part in the war of Kurukshetra. There's stories of Draupadi's 5 sons. Then there's also Dattatreya, the horse incarnation, the lineage of Vaivasvata Manu, and stories of Ram, Krishna incarnations and our various spiritual instructions. Then we have Bhavishya Puran, very interesting Bhavishya Puran. 14,000 verses, deals with the characteristics of Brahma, Dharma, worship of Vishnu, Shiva, for worldly prosperity, as well as liberation. It has information about Surya, instructions for religious discipline, charity. But there are also descriptions of the future kings of this age and the characteristics of this age. But most of this is lost. Most of it is lost. Vaman Puran contains 10,000 verses, describes the occurrence that takes place in the day of Brahma called Kurma Kalpa, fights between the demigods and the demons, Daksha's unfortunate sacrificial ritual where he lost his head, the activities of goddess Durga and Parvati, the greatness of Vishnu is described, and a conversation between Prahlad and King Bali. So King Bali's grandson was Prahlad, and Bali was great devotee, but Prahlad was an extraordinary personality, as well as the activities of Lord Krishna and his devotees. Then we come into the final 6 Puranas. Sorry?
Was grandfather.
Yeah, what did I say?
Grandson.
Sorry, yeah. The Prahlad Maharaj was the grandfather of Bali, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So Varaha, so there's now we're looking at this next 6 Purana, which are all in the mode of goodness.
3.
Sorry?
3. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, but there'll be 6 of them, right? 2 in each. So Varaha Purana, 24,000 verses. Conversation between Varaha and Bhumi Devi, the earth goddess, about the manifestation of Parvati and her sons, Ganesh and Kartikeya. Gauri, or Parvati's battle with the demon Mahishasura, which is one of the main pastimes that she has. The greatness of holy cities like Mathura and other places are described. And it has more Vedic philosophy. Then we have the Narad Purana, 25,000 verses, teachings of 4 Kumaras who offer their advice regarding such things as family life, duties in family life, religious practice. Also, there are descriptions of Sukadeva Goswami, who learned the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, which we'll talk about in a little while, and recited it to Parikshit Maharaj, along with the pastimes characteristics of Vishnu, Surya, Ganesh, Shiva, Durga, and others. Also, there are descriptions of other Puranas in here, and as well as great holy places as Haridwar, Kashi, Kurukshetra, Mathura, Vrindavan. Then we have the Garud Purana, which has 19,000 verses. Lord Vishnu answers questions of his carrier, Garud, on Vedic topics and activities of the day of Brahma, called the Takshya Kalpa. This Purana primarily deals with the glories of Lord Vishnu, contains the 1,000 names of Vishnu. Vishnu Sahasranam is in the Garud Purana, and the ways of meditating on Vishnu, worship of Krishna. Also includes the pastimes of Ram, process of yoga, types of charities, Sankhya philosophy, description of the spiritual domain, the celestial regions, and the process for attaining liberation from material existence. Also, Garud Purana is read when somebody passes away. So sometimes people read this Garud Purana because it describes the process of how the soul leaves the body and goes towards the heavenly planets, or goes on its next journey. Padma Puran, again, very famous Padma Puran, 55,000 verses, very big Puran. It includes the important stories of Krishna and Vrindavan, Lord Ram, and also other stories on the importance of holy places like Pushkar, Jagannath Puri, Kashi, Praya, Gaya, Narmada, and Ganga. Also includes a section called the Bhagavad Mahatmya on the glories and greatness of Bhagavad Puran. So interesting how one Puran glorifies another Puran. And then the final 2, Vishnu Puran, 23,000 verses. Parasar Muni describes the events of Varaha Kalpa, expounding all duties. The origin of the caste system or the class system, describes the pastime and worship of Vishnu, Lakshmi, Prahlad, describes the descendants of Prithu, Priyavrat, marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki, and many of Krishna's pastimes. And then finally, the Bhagavad Puran, 18,000 verses, also is known as Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is Srila Vyasadev's commentary on all the Vedanta philosophy. It's regarded to be the cream of all Vedic philosophy. It brings to light all the different aspects of absolute truth, but especially the personal characteristics of Sri Krishna as the conclusion of all Vedic understanding. It does not elaborate on the worship of other demigods or on rituals that award temporary material benedictions. That's why Bhagavad Puran is regarded to be spotless Puran. It's even considered to be transcendental to all other philosophical viewpoints of Vedic literature. So this Bhagavad Puran is regarded to be the best of them all, the one that has been recommended to us to study very carefully. And we were very fortunate. We did over 300 seminars going through each chapter of this Bhagavad Puran. And it is truly a fascinating scripture, which is spoken on the Ganga by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, who has been cursed to die in 7 days. So when he was cursed, He was a Rajrishi. He could have counteracted the curse, but he chose not to. Instead, he went to the Ganga and he sat waiting for the saints to come and advise him what to do, because he had a question: what is to be done to prepare for death? So many sages came, and then Sukadev Goswami came, and he was the most obvious candidate to speak this Bhagavad Puran. And that's what he did. He spoke it for 18,000 verses. He spoke 18,000 verses in 7 days. And at the end, Parikshit Maharaj was liberated. So that's the end of the scripture section. Any questions? Any comments? Yes, Madhuben.
Yeah, there is, I think, Naharaj Puran, you said 4 Kumar. I don't understand.
4 Kumars are the first sons of Brahma. And when they came out, it's Sanat Kumar.
Sanat Kumar, yeah, that's what I thought. Sanat Kumar. There were 2 or 4.
There's 4.
Sanat,
Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, okay.
What are the
Okay.
names?
Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak,
And
Sanatana.
Sanatana, that's right.
Yeah,
So these 4, Brahma advised them, instructed them, go and populate the universe. And they said, no, we've had enough of this material world. They were just born, right? We're going to do tapasya. And he cursed them. Okay. Brahma was so angry. He said, you always remain little boys. And they were happy. Thank you.
And,
They've always remained little boys, but they're the most intelligent in this.
And second thing you said, when you said about Puran, is Raja Gun.
Some of them are, 6 of them are in Rajagun.
Some of them, yeah?
Yeah, 6 of them, yeah. 6 of the Mahapurans.
6 of the Mahapuran is in a Rajagun, under Rajagun. And that's what you
In
say?
the sense that it is, those Puranas are not Rajagun, but they are meant for people who are in Rajagun to bring them up to the next level.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I just misunderstood what you said, Rajagun. Yeah. And third thing, you give us, I know that you YouTube everyday lesson, yeah. But if I want this all to read,
I can send it to you.
Okay, please. Yeah. Okay.
I'll send it to you. No problem.
And Mataji, what do you eat? Your memory is very good now.
Almonds.
No.
I do almonds every day. 5 almonds.
She's 20.
Not like you.
No, just I think it's the Guru's blessings I managed to remember.
Nice. I was earlier, but last is COVID period,
Yeah, knocks you out.
COVID period. This make me, I don't know, I totally now different. If I try to remember, I have to think twice. And, if suddenly somebody asks me, then I have to go back and remind what was that? What was that? So you instantly telling to Prabhuji that and that, and then so I was
thank you.
surprised.
Yeah.
She's the encyclopedia.
Mataji got a really good memory.
Mm.
And have you finished, Madhuben?
Yeah, I'm going to ask her, bless her. Bless her.
Oh, blessings.
Oh, no. I need your blessings. Thank you.
Nice. It's nice.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
You carry on, Prabhabi.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as Madhuben asked, Madhu Mataji asked about these all Puranas you said, then all the Puranas has got one, is it a booklet or is it
They are in the original, they would be written on a leaf like that, it's very ancient, but they have been, most of them have been somehow protected, and now you can get them in a book format, and they've been translated into English as well. Most of them have been.
Okay, maybe it will be a bit difficult for me. I'll be like, if it's in Gujarati, then I'll be really happy to read them.
But to be honest, it will take too long. And Bhagavad Gita is the summary of the whole Vedic philosophy. So we don't need anything. But
all of the all these Puranas you said about the was it Swasti?
Shruti.
Shruti.
Shruti, Smriti, Smriti.
Yeah, Smriti, yeah. All these Puranas you said, and then you said all different names. So are you telling us that you don't have to read all of them?
No.
It's just one Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita?
You will get everything.
You will get everything. And the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, once we have understood the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Puran is the one to go for.
Go for it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make sure if I can get from somebody.
In Gujarati, there
difficult.
is. There is in Gujarati translation.
Yeah, and I'll try. I'll
Yeah.
try. Because some people have got it in the house and nobody's touching those books.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
They are not touching the books, they don't want to. It's just
They don't want to
one
know.
of the things.
Yeah. And
So
in that Puran, we did 300 seminars like this.
Okay, that's very
chapter,
nice.
Each chapter. So
Very
very
nice.
good.
So
Very
what's it called? Can you just text me on my
Yes, I will.
mobile
Bhagavad
phone?
Puran.
And then I'll ask a couple of my friends if they voted.
Yeah, good, good. Yes, I would ask. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Surinder, anything you'd like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu and
Hare
all
Krishna.
the Vaishnavas ki jai. Yes, very interesting, Prabhu, to understand these the tree of the Vedic knowledge. Yes, and it has been explained that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the cream of Vedic knowledge. Yes? The cream, that is the condensed. Yes, and also, as you said, Bhagavad Gita is a summary or philosophy from all these Vedic knowledge condensed in Bhagavad Gita as well by Lord Krishna, conversation with Arjuna like that. Interesting. And also in the Jai Dhwani, we always saying Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai. So these two, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are Grantaraj, the king of all the scriptures. It is mentioned like that. Yes, Prabhu. Interesting. Yes. Hare Krishna. Nitai Guru. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Good to hear you again after a long
thank
time.
you. Yes, thank you. Same. Yes. Interesting. We should start the Bhagavatam classes on Friday.
Shall we start in the new year? Shall we begin in the new year?
Yeah. When you would like to begin?
I think, is it the 6th? Let me just check when it is. The Friday. No, thank you very much. Yeah, I'd love to start. Let's make. How about the 6th of January?
6th will be good. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we are going to Madhuben and Prabhavan, on Friday evenings we have started looking at Srimad Bhagavad Puran. So I think we are now on the 2nd canto.
I think just start again.
No.
For them.
No.
Can you tell me what's the time?
7 o'clock. Oh, it's a bit awkward for you, no? Because of
yeah, that time is my husband having dinner.
Yeah.
And I have to concentrate on
I
him.
know. That's right.
So 1 hour, 7 to 8?
Yeah.
Every Friday. Every
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
I try. I won't promise you, but I try. I'm interested, but because of family, I could take it. But
it's
I'll
hard.
try anyway. I'll try. Yeah.
No, fantastic.
The only thing is I make him eat early. Then I
No,
can.
No. Don't do that. No, don't force him to do anything. He doesn't want to do.
You can catch up.
Yeah. Don't worry.
But I can. You can send me the link. I can.
Yeah, that's good.
Watch it, read it, or watch it later.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. That's every Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
So, same Zoom.
Same Zoom link.
Okay.
And the password is same. Yeah.
No password.
Yeah.
No password.
Oh, no
Straight,
password.
straight
Okay.
in. Yes.
Straight in. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Vedic Dharma ki jai, Sanatana Dharma ki jai.